This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
I'm not okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes, I don't like that. You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, September 4th. I'm here with Stephanie, Tori, Brandon. I am Sam. Let's get right to it. Well, shocking aerial footage of the Bahamas shows the wreckage and devastation in the wake of Hurricane Dorian. At least 7 people were killed, but that number could rise as authorities assess the destruction. Hurricane Dorian is now a Category 2 storm and is slowly moving north along Florida's northern coast. Yeah, I could barely read the teleprompter because I was so stuck on how apocalyptic that footage looks.
Yeah, they said goodbye to the Bahamas as we know it. So it will be different, right? The shoreline's changed, the topography has changed. It is not the same, Bahamas. Now, I want you all to get ready. This will be Miami. This will be New York. This is any place that's coastal. It's going to be rising. The Maldives had a press conference underwater because their island is about to be submerged. So just know, you're going to see this a lot more.
Wow, that's the climate crisis.
That's it.
Absolutely. Our thoughts and prayers with everybody out there, and please, DBL Nation, chime in, especially if you know someone there that is affected. Well, the founder of one of the nation's largest conversion therapy programs, you know the ones that promise to cure homosexuality, has come out as gay. McCrae Game, for 20 years, led a faith-based conversion therapy program. He's speaking out about the practice. Watch.
I believe ex-gay ministry is a lie. Conversion therapy is not just a lie, but it's very harmful. I'm a gay man. That's just me being honest. I was a hot mess for 26 years, and I have more peace now than I ever did.
I'm so happy to hear this. And this is coming from a man that, you know, at first I was outraged, right? Because you know that men like him have caused, and women, have caused many young gay, lesbian, trans, bi children to commit suicide or to hate themselves or to inflict self-harm. But he likened it, we talked to him on the phone, and we're actually going to talk to him in person later during the day, so stay tuned for that. But we talked to him on the phone this morning, and he likened it to a cult. He said, all I can tell you is that now that I'm out of it, I look back at it and I felt like that I was in a cult and I drank the Kool-Aid. So for that, I can only have empathy for him. And now that he's come out, it only goes to show that this is a sham, complete sham.
I'm sorry, Sam, but I know you're one of those empathetic people to where you look into the story and you're like, okay, congratulations to him.
I didn't feel that way initially, but after you talk to him, I'm just saying, be open-minded. It might change your mind.
I would never be open-minded to a person like that because
he's a victim too.
He's not a victim. He's an opportunist, Sam. And I want you to.
I don't think he would have come forward as gay if he was an opportunist. When you do this interview, I want you to look at him as an opportunist because back then, 26 years ago, it wasn't okay to come out as gay. What did he do? He preyed on families. He preyed on He preyed on people wanting their son or their daughter not to be gay, and he was taking the money. Now that it's 2019. He's an opportunist again because it's okay to come out as gay now. It's not okay in many households.
But it's better than 26 years ago.
And gay conversion therapy still exists, so it's still courageous for him to come forward, especially given the infrastructure that he lives in. But I agree with you. The damage that he has caused is reprehensible. I agree with you there.
Yeah, now just know it's also banned in 18 states. This is also a form of torture. I want to call it what it is, according to me, and 18 states. What makes me interested is the Leah Remini course, right? So she was a Scientologist and felt like it was a cult to her. Not only did she come out, she has been an ally to advocate to get out. I wonder if he can do that. That's his only way to redemption for me.
I agree.
Do you feel me? I need more than I'm gay. Because I got it. You ruined lives.
Yes. I just want to see more. I think I appreciate that he's come out and he's spoken his truth. But like you said, what about all of those children that have harmed themselves, that have killed themselves, that have been sent away from their families, that and he condoned that for something that he himself was living with.
But every psychiatrist that I've spoken to, when on the Dr. Drew show, we would interview people like this, and it's categorically self-hatred. So every time he was performing gay conversion therapy, not condoning it.
Of course.
Believe me, on these young boys and girls, it was him doing it to himself.
Absolutely.
Because he was so ashamed by how his parents treated him, by how his congregation treated him, by how his school treated him.
It is.
No one's excusing it, Brandon. You need to listen to that.
I'm listening.
No one
I'm
is
listening to
excusing
it, but tell that to the kid that wanted to go kill himself because he wanted to self-hate himself.
You need to be outraged
Tell that to my
at
sister
them, not
who
at
came
me.
home and cried
of course.
because people like that.
Believe me, Brandon,
you know what I'm
you're
saying?
speaking to a huge ally to the LGBTQ community. So please direct your outrage at him, not at me, because you know I'm an ally. I'm just saying, if he can be an advocate for the LGBT community now, as Tori so eloquently put, I think he can start his road to redemption. And I do think we owe it to him to listen to where he's coming from. Maybe we can all learn something about this program, and we can make sure it's banned all over the world, not just in America, but all over the world. So I understand your outrage. Believe me, Brandon, I do. Rightfully so. All right, let's get to this next story. The mass shooting in Odessa, Texas over the weekend has renewed the gun control debate, which took center stage on The View yesterday. And of course, Meghan McCain squared off against the liberal co-host. Oh yeah, watch.
I mean, look, the AR-15 is by far the most popular gun in America, by far. So if you're talking about, again, I was just in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. You're talking around going and taking people's guns away from them. There's going to be a lot of violence.
But they lived without them for many years during the ban.
I'm not living without guns. I mean,
but
just
not all
that
guns.
simple.
What about living without the assault weapons that are killing our children?
All right.
Listen, I think this is, you always want to hear from both sides, right? And it's important to hear from Meghan McCain. And I know that many of our viewers feel the same way as Meghan McCain does. I just want to make sure that our viewers understand that no one on this panel is advocating to take away guns. But I can speak for myself that I do not believe that the Second Amendment reflects assault weapons like an AR-15.
Right. And I think what's interesting, whether or not you like Beto, he's having a real moment here because he is El Paso, he is Texas, and he's calling it out like it is. So when she says, I don't want them gun grabbing, he looks and says, that's exactly what I'm going to do for certain weapons. He said, I'm not going to lie to you. I want AK-47s and AR-15s out of people's hands. I will buy it back, and he wants it mandatory. Now, some Democratic candidates want it to be a voluntary. He wants it mandatory, but I won't touch your handguns that the Supreme Court has allowed, or your rifles, or your shotguns, like Meghan McCain was saying. It's not gun grabbing; it's common sense gun control.
But what's scary though, Tori, is the narrative does get propagandized. So depending on what show you're watching, you're going to hear that the liberals want to take away your guns.
Come into your house and take the guns.
So let's just make it clear here that the majority of people on both sides, it looks to be, is common sense gun reform. And I
red flag laws,
the more we can not politicize this and the more that we can come together, then we can ensure that everybody is protected under the Second Amendment, and we can ensure that everybody's also safe.
Right. We did it before. 1994, Clinton did it. We saw a drop and reduction. It's been done.
Right. Because it's not just mass shootings, it's gun violence.
Exactly. Yeah, we had a gun buyback program in the UK in 1997.
Really?
And it worked wonders. And it was only for guns, like you said, that are assault weapons. There's no need.
They're for mass carnage.
Exactly.
That's exactly what
not
they're
what
for.
the founding fathers meant.
Hunting with this, you can't protect. I mean, they're so dangerous. Unless you're extremely skilled, that can go really wrong really quickly if you have
even extremely skilled people, right? You know, the NYPD, some members of the NYPD have come forward saying that, even with their target practice, that they hit, like, I think they said 40% of the time, and they're against assault weapons, or at least some of these police officers have come forward. So yeah. All right. Well, Ariana Grande is suing Forever 21 for $10 million. They were planning to a collab at the end of last year, but Ariana backed out of the deal because Forever 21 wasn't willing to pay enough. She filed a lawsuit saying the company used a look-alike model in their campaign instead. See for yourself, Forever 21 used this girl on the right who looks almost identical to Ariana in her Seven Rings music video.
And also, they used a quote from her music video. Okay, so Al and I, Al Jackson, the other co-host, and I kind of had it out this morning saying, what, you can't dress like how Ariana dresses? No, this is full-on trademark infringement. This is suggesting that Ariana Grande is promoting Forever 21. You simply can't do that. So she has copyright infringement, trademark laws, false advertising. Now, the problem is that Stephanie brought up a great point, and I want you to share your theory. We've heard some not so great things about the status of Forever 21.
Okay, so Forever 21 6 days ago said they might be going for potential bankruptcy within the next week or so. So I think it's very convenient that they've had these discussions with Ariana Grande. They can't afford her. They've then gone ahead and released a whole campaign, which obviously now she's potentially suing for $10 million.
Wow.
Which they don't have.
Which they don't have.
Oh, she's absolutely wealthy.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I wasn't aware that they asked her initially to be in the campaign and they couldn't afford it. So at the start, I was like, I don't see anything wrong with this. Of course, we see like lots of looks that are ripped off on the high street that are from designers all the time. But this is exactly when you try to make a contract and you can't pay someone, and now she's suing you.
I mean, literally from the exact little headband. Come on.
Hey, you can't afford Gucci sometimes. You gotta wear Gucci. You gotta wear Gucci. It happens.
I have a Gucci bag. It's super cute.
Soup's cute. DBL's live coming up. You'll never guess the wardrobe item that inspired actor Tate Donovan's performance in the Elton John movie Rocket Man. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Netflix is making a bold move that could change the way you watch your favorite shows. What do you think of releasing episodes on a weekly basis instead of all at once? Ooh, your comments about that coming up next.
Watson, I love it, is debating with me. He says handguns will not protect us from a tyrannical government. And Jules has a great sense of history because that is exactly why the Founding Fathers wanted to keep the Second Amendment, because they said we don't want the government to come after us, like England. That's why they left. However, I have to imagine when it's in the Second Amendment, if we read it, again, it states over and over and over again, a well-regulated. That regulation part is important. People like to skip over it. Again, it's not well regulated. It's not in the Second Amendment. And at this point, I don't think we all are feeling like this is well regulated. The background checks are not there. The registries aren't there. So all we're asking for is what I think is to follow the letter of the law, which Scalia, a very conservative Supreme Court justice, agreed. Now, he also says this. Jules Watson, or she, excuse me, it is exactly the same thing as a hunting rifle. And I don't know a lot about guns, so I do want to ask. I don't believe a hunting rifle can kill 9 people in 30 seconds. I don't think it's spray as much with that kind of weaponry. Now, if it can, I would love to know more, and excuse my ignorance. But the idea of killing so many people so very quickly is what separates the two of them, including high-capacity magazines. So, Jules, if you would care to write, I know it's tough to get into a gun control debate, especially when we are not face-to-face, but I respect what you have history on your side here with what the intent of the Second Amendment was to protect against a tyrannical government. You're right, but I do think they wanted a well-regulated right, and I don't think at all we would think this is 255 shootings in more shootings than days of the year is regulated in any way. So please write me back. AR-15s won't protect us from tanks, missiles, and fighter jets, says Ray Z Vibe. So people are also commenting that even if we were allowed that, the government has bigger weapons than we do. So interesting topics. Keep writing in. Let's keep it civil, but I say we go for it today. And we're also interviewing the guy that had the inversion, Mr. Game, who came out as gay. We got him on the show. So stay tuned for that.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, Netflix is changing the way we watch our favorite shows again. First, they introduced the world to binge watching, which I personally love. And then the pastime of Netflix and chillin'. Well, I think we need to define. Which I personally love. I think we need to define what that means. Now the company is releasing some new shows on a weekly basis to increase the value of streaming. But the upside is this will cut down on spoilers for non-bingers. So DBL Nation, are you okay to give up your ability to Netflix and binge? Take it away, Brandon.
Here we go. Our girl Taylor, or our guy Taylor from Facebook says, I like this idea. Talk about extending Netflix and chilling. Taylor, I'm all about Netflix and chilling, but we're talking about weeks and weeks of Netflix and chilling. I got to go to work the next morning. Come on. But But no, the whole.
I think we need to define, because I was caught from our own DBL Nation. I thought Netflix and chill meant exactly literally what it meant, to Netflix and relax on the couch.
That's
no,
not
our DBL Nation and then everybody in our studio told Jeff and I that Netflix and chill, and Stephanie, you should know this too, means Netflix and sex.
I know what it means.
I did not know that.
After spending a lot of time with Brandon, yeah, I know what that means. But,
so DBL Nation, there's some freaks in DBL Nation.
I did not know that.
I want to define that. Okay,
that was
take
funny.
it away.
All right, Stacy from Facebook says, "Are you kidding me with this? I paid the subscription to be able to binge."
Yes.
Stacy, I fully agree with you. You give me the Great British Bake Off, okay? And then you leave me with Cake Week? And I can't have Pastry Week or Schnitzel Week? No. I want to watch the whole thing. I want showstoppers. I binge hard. I cross-stitch. I'm a very inside person. Don't take this away from me.
Well, Kimberly from Facebook says, for me, binge watching is not realistic. I'm a busy mum and I feel left out because I can't keep up as fast. So I pose this to you, Kimberly. When you're up at night and you're breastfeeding your children and you can't get back to sleep, what are you going to do then when the show's been removed and you've got to wait another week to watch it?
Yep.
That's your time, Mummy. That's your time. Don't let them do it.
No. Preaching to the choir.
Breastfeed and binge, people.
I breastfed and binged many nights.
That's right,
So thank you for that. It saved me. Barb from Facebook says, why did I cancel my cable subscription for Netflix then? What a terrible idea. I love to binge Netflix. So this, to me, that's what's so cool about it. I don't understand it. I don't support it. I'm going to be highly devastated if this becomes a thing.
But
Is
that's
it a
my
thing?
favorite show. No, it's only 2 shows. And our graphic designer, Jeff, did write an email to me saying it's only 2 shows. They're not doing this. They're testing it. But from the feedback.
Everyone needs a boycott.
Yeah, this is bad feedback.
But we did say appointment television kind of died down.
True.
But Netflix, it's not Netflix's job
Well,
to
then
bring
watch
that
The
back.
Masked Singer if you want appointment television.
We're going back to Masked Singer.
I hated that show. I hated that show.
Who are you? Okay. All right, let's get to this this update that we have. I guess Renee Zellweger is opening up about her plastic surgery rumors. Raquel, please fill us in.
Well, Sam, actress Renee Zellweger says she suffered international humiliation when there was speculation she had work done to her face. Now, this happened at a 2014 red carpet appearance, and many fans thought she looked unrecognizable, but she denies ever going under the knife. She tells Vulture magazine in a new interview she remembers being sad, adding she likes her quirkiness, but despite the humiliation, Renee says it put things in perspective for her and helped her become less superficial.
That's honest.
Yeah, super honest.
That's very honest.
It was I gotta be honest,
a lot of people can relate though to her.
I do too, but when she walked out there,
no one recognized her.
I couldn't recognize
You remember the
her.
red carpet? She walked in a red carpet and the photographers didn't recognize her. Do you know how embarrassing that must have been for her? No one knew who she was when she attended her first red carpet after all of the plastic surgery.
It's like Jennifer Grey when she did the nose job. She was just not hired.
I know.
You got to be careful.
Well, I know. Yeah. Well, I appreciate her opening up. Coming up on DBL, actor Tate Donovan takes us behind the scenes for one of the most iconic moments in the movie Rocket Man. Chatting with the stars is next.
Netflix, I love you. I still have you, even though it's my dad's account. But please do not get rid of the binge watching. I don't want to wait a week for shows. That's not where I am in life right now.
This is what Ray says to you, and I agree with you, and he agrees with you. Netflix basically invented binge watching, so it wouldn't be smart to go away from that model, especially with the rise of other streaming services like Disney and Apple TV.
I'm a Hulu.
That's true.
I love Hulu.
I don't
and I
watch
have live
Hulu
TV.
as much as I
have live TV on Hulu too.
I've got Hulu, but I don't watch it enough as I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right when you say Netflix and chill, right? Obviously, I get the what you're saying, but like, then don't you just like? I don't get why you want that in the background. I don't really understand.
You mean the binging?
No, yeah.
Why?
Is that
No,
not
Netflix
distracting?
and
Like,
chill. Because you put on something you know you're not gonna watch. That's the point of it. Like,
so
you
what's
put
a
on
good
some
Netflix and chill?
Planet Earth.
I love
Planet
that.
Earth. Planet Earth.
I play that on repeat every night to sleep.
Yes.
So that's the background noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so it's just background noise.
Yes.
No, it's background noise, but it also gives you a reason to kind of like, just chill out on the couch. Like you're chilling out, you're cuddling, you're hanging out, and then you don't want to put on something that you want to see because then you're gonna miss it.
What's the point in that? I didn't understand.
Yeah, you're gonna miss it.
So you purposely pick something that you don't want to watch to have in the background.
Yes.
Oh.
Welcome back to DBL. Rocket Man, the critically acclaimed biopic about Elton John, is one of the hottest movies of the summer and one of my favorites. Earlier, I sat down with actor Tate Donovan about the film and one of my favorite scenes in today's Chatting with the Stars. And welcome to Daily Blast Live. Now, Rocket Man is full of fun scenes and amazing music, but your favorite thing wasn't either of those, I hear. It was wearing the wig, and that was the wig. Explain, please.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know what to do with the character.
Right.
There wasn't much on the page, and the director was like, "Oh, don't worry, it's gonna be great. Yeah, don't worry." And so we got into the makeup and hair, and I was a little worried first day, and they just slipped this wig on me, and I was like, "Oh my God, there he is."
There he is.
Okay, we're gonna have fun. It was just, I don't know, there's something about it.
Hi, I'm Elton.
Oh, sweet. How are you? Monday night at the Troubadour, man. It's gonna blow your mind. We just went and had a great time, and Taron Egerton is a blast to work with. I mean, I feel like he is Elton John. He's an amazing guy.
Have you ever had the chance to meet Elton John, or is Taron kind of like Elton John 2.0 in a way?
I'm telling you, I never got to meet Elton John. He was on the set, and I unfortunately never got to meet him, but I feel like I know Elton John because I worked with him at the Troubadour. He just had the same energy that Elton has. He was great to work with.
That's amazing.
I loved it.
My favorite scene actually was at the Troubadour where you played the owner, but that moment we all floated with him was, if you've ever been to a concert ever, and you said you've been to the Troubadour, we've all had those moments, right, where we're all lifted up because of him, and it was such a cool moment. Was that fun to film?
It was. It was fun to film. You know, it's really funny. The extras were on these bars that had like 15 bike seats. So they were lifted up, you know, and I was like, I don't know, this seems kind of hokey.
Right.
I don't know if it's gonna work. And I was dead wrong. It totally works, and it's true. There's always that moment in a performance where you're just like, you just inhale each other, and it's just, you feel like you're floating.
Yeah. Tate Donovan, you are a gem. Thank you so much for joining us on DBL. What a cool guy. Thank you.
Thanks, Tori.
He also plays the fiddle, I learned. Rocket Man is available now on DVD and Blu-ray. We'll be right back.
Breathe! Beauty Blast Police is here for you, honey. Now, this week, y'all, I have to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart, okay? If you guys remember, I really don't like blue eyeshadow. It's bad. It's bad. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, step away from the blue eyeshadow and nobody gets hurt, honey. Yes, ma'am, I'm Jeray for the Slay, and this week we're talking about using blue eyeshadows way too much. It's an overdone color that actually makes you look bad, my friend, and it's time to throw it to the window. Bye! So, let's get back to the basics. Why don't we use blue eyeshadow? Blues and purple eyeshadows all over your eyes will cause you to look like you are bruised and beaten, honey. It is not a cute look by any means. Now, when you're using a lot more of these blue and purple eyeshadows, it actually reminds the eye, or it reminds how we look at other people in the eye, of more of those sallow colors of bruising, of more sickness, anything like that. It's everything you don't want to look like when you're trying to feel like Beyonce, honey, okay? So So instead, you want to lean more towards warmer colors. Look for warm taupes, warm browns, soft reds, soft golds. You can even use hints of blue, but just don't put it all over your eye like you from the Drew Carey show looking like Mimi or whatever, girl. Bring it back a little bit more and use it in subtle ways. So some ways you can still use blue eyeshadow but not look crazy are by popping it slightly under the eye, using it as a transition color. So maybe for a smoky eye, you can take it from black to blue for a very gentle approach. But the last thing, once again, that you want to do is keep that blue all over your eye and run out your house looking like a clown. Because guess what? Everyone's gonna tell you, Jeray for the Slave told me not to wear that blue eyeshadow. Hanny. Now, another way that you can also incorporate some blue into your look, if you're really stuck on using the blue, is maybe just using a blue eyeliner as well. This is a great way to keep a subtle eye, use creams, soft browns, maybe even a little black in the end corner of your eye, and then take it in with a deep navy liner to enhance your eyes. I'm sure you will thank me later, guys. All right, now that's all for this week's Beauty Blast, but for next week, go ahead and write me in at Jeray for the Slave for more of what you want to see. We'll talk to you guys later.
Welcome back to DBL. We want to give a big old shout out. I've been waiting for this for our very own Stephanie Jones. Ooh. You guys are going to die. She was featured on the cover of this month's Cherry Creek Fashion. Now, this is based here in Denver, but let me tell you, Steph talked with the magazine about her career in fashion and television, plus making the transition to America. Check out all these gorgeous photos. I mean, Stephanie, I know your mom was a high fashion model. You clearly are a high fashion model because, girl, you serve.
Thank you.
You serve. And I also want to make sure that our DBL Nation, because I read the article, the article just gives you such an insight into Stephanie. It does a beautiful job at describing DBL, but well done. And Kiri,
our
wardrobe stylist.
Always looks together.
I mean, straight out of Vogue. Look at that. Straight out of Vogue.
Who needs Ariana Grande?
There she is.
There's Kiri.
And Jeray. I mean, the team were absolutely amazing. So shout out to Esther. She owns the magazine and she put everything together. She made such a beautiful little team. And Caroline, the photographer. There were so many people involved. So go online, check it out, cherrycreekfashion.com. You can read the article.
Read it.
Read all about Daily Blast Live. Read all about the fashion.
And to Stephanie and Kiri, man, well done.
Great job.
We will see you guys same time, same